Um, I'm not sure. He was, like I said, he was a seed hoarder, and he was pretty much run out of town. And it's just the fact that that's just what it's coming to. They're even doing this in Canada, in South America, all over the world. Montecito has their finger in the pie, and they're evil. We all can't. They're just evil. So I've gotten away from. I'm using at the hotel. Some of the larger corporations, Cisco, one of my major purveyors now, they have gotten on board with the sustainable chicken. My pasture, I use pastured poultry. They have farms in Wisconsin that are growing all their chicken for them. So now I can provide my client with the guest hotel a genetically non-altered chicken breasts. I can order them the eggs. All my eggs are coming. Free range is a buzzword now. We don't want to use free range because Tyson has free range is if the chicken has an opportunity to go outside, it can be classed as free range. So Tyson's free range chicken is there's 50,000 birds in one barn, but they have an opportunity to go out one little hole on the side of the barn. So what you're looking for is pastured poultry. Pasture is the key word now. And Tyson is able to supply us with pastured poultry with all our eggs. And it's coming on. I'm really glad to see that the big companies are coming on. It's dollars and cents. They've seen a need and they've been able to supply us with that product. So we're using locally grown farms. Our pork, Circle B Ranch up here they're supplying all our pork, and actually she's going to come and speak the next meeting as well too. Wonderful woman on Facebook. You get a chance to look her up on Facebook and friend the company, the farm.
And the name of that farm is?
Circle B Ranch. Yeah, so like I said, it's really come full circle. I had the opportunity. I worked down in Nevis in the West Indies, and there was nothing on that island. It's a 25 square mile island, and there was nothing on that island but the hotel, the Four Seasons Hotel, and locals and farms. There was no McDonald's, there was no Kentucky Fried Chicken, there was no grocery store. We had to go to Puerto Rico to buy socks, underwear, T-shirts. So I lived there for 5 years, and it was really refreshing to get back to people who lived off the land, and when they didn't have extravagant lifestyles, they had a garden, and they fished, and they grew asparagus, and they had a couple goats, a few chickens, and they lived off the land, and it wasn't difficult. It wasn't a difficult plan for them to do. And so we pretty much, the hotel, we got behind that lifestyle. And my wife and myself, we had a couple goats, and we had this little 5-acre pasture, and it was quite an amazing transition to go from living in the suburbs where everyone's little patch of grass is this big, and you're out with your scissors and you're trimming the grass and you're watering the grass. Water that grass, pouring water and water on the grass. And why are we watering grass? It's going to die. Why are you watering grass? Why are you looking after this little piece of? It's absolutely ridiculous. So, but to get back to the now that when you live in the islands like that, if you have water, we have water today. We have a cistern. Like people here, you turn on your taps, you get water. You think that's normal. Well, in the islands where we live, you have a cistern under your house, which is a basement under your house, and if it doesn't rain, you don't have water. So it was really, I'd have guests come down, people come down, and they'd want, oh, we'll just stay at your house. I have 6 people come down. Well, no, you can't stay at my house because I don't have enough water. They don't understand. What do you mean you don't have enough water? So, it's just, you get a real appreciation for the lifestyle of living off the land, having a farm, water, rain, electricity. When we lived on the island, there was a diesel generator. The island was 25 square miles, and 2,000 people lived on it. So they had a diesel generator built in World War I that supplied the power for the island. Except for our hotel, we had our own generators brought in. So it would be 7 o'clock at night. They would do what's called brownouts across the island. So I would come home from work, and my refrigerator would be going, and the lights are all dim, and it's just the electricity is just. They turn the power right down, so it won't do anything. So you'd open the fridge, everything is warm, everything is hot, so you'd have to go out, and, get fresh asparagus, fresh eggs, fresh everything. So, like I said, it just brought you a whole new appreciation for living off the land. The hotel here, like I said, we've done a great job of coming around and going to using sustainable products, but we can't do enough. I can't, for my banquets, for instance, we still have to use, I can't get enough beef tenderloin. And that's part of sustainable farming, as you know, is using the whole animal. And using all the animals so that you can not just buying beef tenderloins for 350 people, which as a hotel, as a hotelier, that's some of the things we have to do. So we're still working in the restaurant. All our beef is supplied, all our chickens are supplied, sustainable, our pork is supplied. Our fish, I'm getting my fish, able to get sustainable fish from, where you're getting it from Iceland. I've got some salmon that comes in from Faroe Islands, from the Iceland. Tuna comes fresh from Hawaii. It's amazing that you can get all this product just FedEx. It comes overnight. And thinking back to what we used to have frozen products, Tyler can attest. Our refrigerator looks like a FedEx warehouse. We've got all these different stickers from all over the world with different products, and they've come along now. The pricing is not that bad. Most places are free shipping, so and the price of the fish may be a little bit higher, but it all balances out. And it's quite amazing to be able to use that product. I'm so excited that you're coming up with the product that the greenhouse that you're putting in as well too. So people are getting more aware. It's really coming along. It's really coming along. I've got some form I want to hand out about GMOs in my case here. You can hand them out. Just 10 facts about GMOs and about the local. 10 reasons why we don't need them. So you can just pass that out. It's just some good reading, some good literature. Like I was saying, we do have. Does anyone have any questions at this time?
So as far as avoiding GMOs, what are you taking steps?
Well, realistically,
I know that's
it's a huge endeavor. Anything that comes, any product that is brought in from outside the United States does not have to be listed on an ingredients package. So, I just went through this. And I'm going to get completely off topic of food, human food. I'm off the top of dog food, and I've been feeding my dogs. I had a dog. I rescued greyhounds, and so we had 4 greyhounds, and greyhounds have a really susceptible to cancer. And it's been in the last 10 years that their susceptibility has become, and all these allergies that they're getting, and all animals, all dogs, I think, are becoming more allergic to. Their cancer is outrageous. And so we started looking into. I fully believe that what we're feeding them has a full effect on the result. The result is the cancer. So we started doing some research on dog food, and I thought I was feeding an excellent $50 a bag for Nutro Plus, a 30-pound bag, and it's the most expensive dog food, and it's one of the. But what the problem is, when you realize that the dog food it has a shelf life of 2 years. It's made by all these different beef and byproducts, and the problem is what they're coating the dog food with to make it, the preservatives that they're coating it with. And if they're buying products from Asia for the fillers, they're using anesthetized animals. They're using products from Asia, from all over the world. If they buy that product from Asia, they don't have to list what's in it. And so you can be reading, poultry byproducts, this and that, the other thing. But if the byproducts that they're putting into it are from a different country, they don't have to list it. So that's the same deal as with food too. That we're buying. If there's food products, processed foods, then we're looking at if they don't have to list the GMOs or anything for that matter. Knowledge is the best. Buy local, buy sustainable. Harder House, there's a lot of good places. The farmers market here in Branson, the farmers market up in Springfield. I was also involved with a delivery program in St. Louis that you paid $200 for every 6 months, and once a week they delivered to the market, and everybody came to the market, and whatever he had grown, we got a guaranteed 30 pounds that every time you picked it up, but you didn't know what you were going to get. And it was really nice to be able to go in and just get this basket. Take your basket, they would fill it up, and you shop the market. When you came back, you'd have your basket full of whatever he had. And I started doing that with work as well. And it was like I was telling you before. I would buy whatever they had fresh. And some chefs would come in and they would say, well, I need to buy green beans this week, or I need to buy pea tendrils, or whatever they would need to buy. And that puts the farmer in the because they have to grow this, and I really don't know what grows best at certain times. So my deal was, I'll go to you and I'll tell you what, I'll buy everything you have, but it's got to be the best product that you have, and it's got to be a reasonable price to me. I can't be paying. So if you lower your price and give me a reasonable price, I'll come and I'll take everything that you have, whether it be tomatoes, whether it be peas, snap peas, whatever it is, I'll take it, and then that challenges me as a chef to take that product back to my kitchen and utilize it and make sure that I get my money's worth out of it. So it's not an easy process for a lot of chefs. Is there, you get a little bit lazy and you just go, well, I need this, and you know what you need, but to be able to take a product that you don't need and utilize that in your specials, and utilize all the product, that's a challenge. So, but I find it's challenging for me and my cooks, and we get excited about it, and it's fun. Yeah.
How long have you had the
Chateau?
Yeah.
4 years now, and then I opened the hotel. I was here 2 years in 98, 99.
Okay, I thought we talked.
Yeah.
As far
Well,
as
our biggest thing was we're, a small farmer and we didn't know is 10 pounds of green beans enough for the
Yeah,
top of big cedar, and they're gonna look and go, we don't need 10 pounds.
Yeah, and that's typically the attitude. Now, what I can't have is I have to have certain farmers that I'm doing business with. I can't be having every 20 minutes somebody coming to my doorstep with 5 pounds of tomatoes and 3 pounds of this and 3 pounds of that. So what I've done is, like I said, I've set up with certain farms, and like I said, on every Thursday they would come to the hotel, and they would call and tell me what they've got, and then I would say, okay, that sounds fine, let's bring it on, I'll take this. Sometimes they would have outrageous amounts of stuff, like, I have 150 pounds of tomatoes this week. Well, I'm sorry, I'll do the best I can, but I'm not going to buy the product, so it'll go bad on my doorstep. I'll take 35 pounds of them, and I'll take all your pea tendrils, and I'll take all the different products. So it's working with the farmers. It's working with the farm. Yeah.
I'm sorry if you've already mentioned this, but as far as the ownership of Chateau and White, did they just tell you, we want you to do whatever you need to do to get the healthiest food possible? Or
No, Chateau is we're on our own. We're a little island out there. We're John Q's flagship, and we don't have a corporate flag. We're not a Renaissance. We're not a Holiday Inn. We're not an Embassy Suites. We're just a Chateau on the lake. So I don't have a corporation over top of me telling me what I can and what I can't do. Now, what I'm lucky with is the general manager, Steve Marshall. Him and I worked together at the Four Seasons in Houston, Texas for 4 years. So, and he left the company, came up here, and then he fired the chef that was here, and he brought me up, and I was here for 2 years at that time, opening the hotel. So him and I go back, we have a rapport, and he's on the same wavelength as I am. He wants to buy sustainable. He wants to give the best product possible to the Chateau guest, and he wants it to be a memorable experience. So you'll see on our menus, all my menus have listed like Circle B Ranch, sustainably grown, and so it's all listed in the menus as well too. So when our guest comes, they're reading it, and we have descriptions of the food, where it comes from, and
So that's a part of what you guys are really selling, is the idea of sustainable.
the idea of sustainable, because I truly believe that we have to get in touch with where our food comes from. I look at the children now, I look at the kids, I look at what's going on in the world with what they're eating, and it comes back to a time. I'm a big advocate of slow food. Everyone here remembers of slow food? Have you heard of slow food? Slow food movement. Go online, slowfoodusa.org, and Slow Food is an organization that was started in 1985 in Italy from Carlos Petrini. They opened a McDonald's at the foot of the Roman Colosseum, so he realized that, wow, this is wrong. And slow food is not.
more ways than one.
Yeah, slow food is not necessarily about organics. It's about sustainable. It's about bringing families back to the table. But I remember in the '60s when I was growing up, I was home from school at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I did chores from 4 till 6. We were at the dinner table at 6 o'clock till 7 o'clock. Without question, you were at that dinner table. And God help you if you didn't make it home for dinner because you had to answer to Dad. And at the dinner table, we talked about the day. We talked about what went on. Mom cooked. We had them Sunday was pot roast. Monday was meatloaf. Tuesday was fried chicken. And every day it was the same. But we were at home for that meal. And nowadays, there's none of that. There's no communication anymore. People are off and about. They can supply. You can get a cheaper meal at Golden Corral for a family of 5 than you can putting it on the table. So I'm not saying it's.
That was going to be another one of my questions, is as far as the money that you spend buying this type of food, are you saving money possibly?